episode of Behind the Crime Scene Tape. I'm Kevin Bicking, one of your hosts. Today, I want to talk about something that people misunderstand more than almost anything else that we deal with in this industry. That would be hoarding. When most people hear that word, they picture clutter. Stacks of boxes, piles of belongings, maybe something exaggerated on reality TV. But what we walk into isn't entertainment. It isn't funny, and it isn't just a messy house. It's a safety issue, and more importantly, it's a human issue. Let me start by saying this clearly. Hoarding is not laziness. It's not someone who just doesn't feel like cleaning, and it's not a moral failure. In many cases, hoarding disorder is tied to trauma, anxiety, depression, or major life events like loss, grief, abandonment, financial instability. Items become comfort. Objects become security. Throwing something away can feel like losing control. And over time, sometimes years, that accumulation builds. By the time a company like ours gets called, the situation has usually escalated far beyond what family members can manage on their own. Now let's talk about the part that most people don't see. The real danger isn't the clutter itself. It's what the clutter hides. Blocked exits are common, and that's a serious fire hazard. We've been in homes where you can't access a doorway, a staircase, or even the breaker panel. In an emergency, seconds matter. If a firefighter can't move through the home, that's not just inconvenient, it's life-threatening. Then there's structural stress. People don't think about weight load, but when belongings stack floor to ceiling, especially in older homes, that can put stress on flooring systems and framing. We also see pest infestations, like rodents, insects, because all the clutter provides nesting and hiding areas. Where you have rodent activity, you're going to have contamination. Rodent droppings, urine, bacteria, add that to mold growth, especially in areas where moisture was trapped and wet unnoticed for a long period of time. Air quality becomes compromised. Trip hazards increase. Electrical risks increase if wiring or outlets are buried or damaged. So again, it's not about mess. It's about safety. Now let's talk remediation, because this isn't a situation where you just rent a dumpster and start tossing things. Hoarding environments require a systematic approach. We wear proper PPE, respirators, protective suits, gloves, not for the drama, but because disturbing certain environments can aerosol contaminants. If you don't protect yourself, you risk exposure. If you don't protect the surrounding areas, you risk cross-contamination. We often establish containment zones to isolate affected spaces. We use air filtration systems when we needed to control airborne particulate. Removal isn't random, it's methodical. Hazardous materials are separated appropriately. Contaminated porous materials may need to be discarded. Non-porous surfaces can be disinfected. And throughout the process, we're evaluating risk, not just appearance. Because clean isn't just visual. Clean is safe. But here's the part that matters most. Behind every hoarding situation is a person. And often, that person is embarrassed. They could be ashamed, scared of judgment. Family members who call us are usually stressed. They've tried, they've argued, they've worried. Sometimes it's an adult child stepping in for a parent. Sometimes it's a landlord trying to balance compassion with responsibility. Sometimes it's a health department that got involved. But no one is happy when we show up. And that's important to understand. We're not walking into a house to criticize it. We're walking in to restore safety, with discretion, with professionalism, and with dignity. We don't post addresses, we don't exploit situations, and we never treat it like a spectacle. Because at the end of the day, this is someone's home. And homes carry stories. So what does restoration actually mean in these cases? It means creating safe pathways. It means restoring access to the essential areas like kitchens, bathrooms, exits. It means removing contaminated materials, disinfecting surfaces properly, deodorizing when necessary, and most importantly, it means bringing the environment back to the condition where it's habitable again. Notice I didn't say perfect. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is safety and functionality. A reset point, a starting line for whatever comes next. If you take one thing away from this episode, let it be this. Hoarding isn't about mess. It's about mental health, safety, and intervention. And when professionals step in, it's not to judge, it's to protect. It's to stabilize and to help create a path forward. This work isn't glamorous. It's not flashy, but it does matter. And the way we approach it matters just as much. Because when we leave, someone has to walk back into that space. And they deserve for it to be safe. Thanks again for listening to another episode of Behind the Crime Scene Tape. Again, I'm one of your hosts, Kevin, with BioCleanup New Jersey. Have a great day. Bye.